Hello, everybody. How is everyone doing? Welcome to the session. Welcome to our 3D market commentary. Today is July 25, 2022. And my name is Jose Blasco. And it's my pleasure to say hello in this beginning part of the week and going over 5 very relevant markets to understand what is the market environment, what's happening out there. So we are prepared to begin trading in 1 hour time when the US markets begin trading. Before we get started, I would like to highlight on the upper left side of the screen our financial disclaimer. Please read it carefully. This is important information. As I always say, it's fairly short. Therefore, I am counting on you to read it completely. Thank you so much. And the disclaimer is now fully highlighted, so we are ready to go. Okay, ready to begin. Let's jump in the real-time charts and begin our 3D market commentary. Okay, so for the ones of you who are new to the sessions, we're gonna be looking at a three-dimensional approach to understanding the markets. That means that we're gonna look at 3 very important components. One is gonna be the market climate, then it's gonna be the UFOs, and then the volatilities. So we'll talk about these 3 components, and we're gonna apply these to 5 markets that I have here on the right, which is the S&P futures, crude oil, gold, the dollar index, and Bitcoin. So we are touching on all the key assets worldwide and money flows from market to market, and we're going to be analyzing that. So let's begin with the S&P, which is the chart I have on the right. This is a daily time frame of the S&P futures. And let's begin with dimension number 1, which is the climate. Okay, so we use auto climate to analyze the climate. Later, I will give you instructions on how you can get auto climate for yourself. It's free. Okay. In the meantime, I am activating on the screen the URL for you to subscribe to what we call the news flash, which is basically the information I'm sharing with you today in this video stream, in case you cannot attend live. So you can always receive the same information in your inbox every day, and it's free. So you could just follow the steps and get that. Okay, but again, we are talking about the climate. So the climate is the tool that basically it's giving us more information about what is the upcoming market direction, statistically speaking. So statistically speaking, the climate in the S&P, it's thick and blue. It's a thick and blue dot. Notice this dot there is thin. Okay, that means the climate is not confirmed. In this case, we are dealing with a confirmed climate to the upside. You can see here. And statistically speaking, this climate should last for 8.69 candles. We are currently trading in candle number 4. You can count the blue dots, we got 4. So because we are in number 4 out of 8, certainly there is statistical room for the market to continue moving higher a bit more. The reality is that there is nothing really to stop the market, the S&P, to keep going higher all the way to finding our red UFO located at 44.32. So we may end up seeing an extended climate to the upside, like what happened here at a moment in time, where the market extended a lot to the upside, and that's because there was nothing to stop it. So we have that particular situation, even though, of course, anything could happen anytime. And next thing you know, you could have red UFOs added in the market, and maybe tomorrow or the day after, when we do the market commentary, we may have a new UFO somewhere here that was not available today. So of course, markets are a dynamic animal, and we need to adapt to whatever it's available. So far, there is plenty of room for the market to explode to the upside. 4 out of 869 is a good climate condition for that to happen. On-field orders is telling us more about the upcoming turning points. Okay, this is what the UFOs are going to tell us. The upcoming turning points, because once on-field orders to buy or on-field orders to sell get filled, a change of direction, a market movement starting from that UFO is expected to happen. So if the S&P was to come to where the UFO is, we'd expect a market to the upside. That's the turning point I'm talking about. If the market was to come to the red UFO, we would expect a market turn to the downside. That's the turning point we're talking about. So those UFOs are extremely powerful and useful when setting entries and exits. The buy order is located at 37.13. The sell order is located at 44.32. It's extremely important information to be aware of. Speed of movement, which is volatility, which is our third dimension, is expected to be 23.85%. Now, this is a value extracted from the VIX, which is the implied volatility of options on the S&P 500 index. And therefore, that percentage refers to percentage per year in a one standard deviation of the cases. In other words, if we take that number and we reverse engineer the options pricing models, we could extrapolate that 59.84 points either up or down is the expectation for a move in a day. 131 points, 0.73, it's the expected move either up or down for a week, and 274.23, it's the expected move, meaning the speed of movement, which is expected for a month. This is what we have when it comes to the first market, which is the S&P. We are now moving into crude oil. I told you that we use technology to analyze the markets. I told you I would tell you how to get your auto UFOs, which is free. Well, you can see that on the screen as we speak, tradewithufos.com/apps. So crude oil is the next market I am analyzing now, CL 1 day, okay, like crude oil futures. And notice how this market, it's in a down climate. 3 out of what statistics would say a normal thing to happen is 5.8. So we are talking about a confirmed down climate, which is likely going to remain down for a little longer. And in this case, and this is the complete opposite image that we saw on the S&P. The S&P was an up climate. This is a down climate. But on top of that, with the S&P, there was no UFO close by, where with crude oil, we have a sell UFO located at 96.52, which is basically almost the current price. The current price is 96.21, so it's almost there. In other words, if crude oil tries to go up, those unfilled orders are going to hit crude oil very quickly, potentially bringing it down. So we have a higher probability for crude oil to continue moving lower because we got two forces joining forces, the UFOs and the climate, where with the S&P, the UFOs were far from each other. There was no UFO around at that moment, right? But with crude oil, we do. And therefore, it is to be expected, even though crude oil is going up today, that, we should see a turning point either later today, maybe beginning of tomorrow, something like that, and get crude oil start progressing down. There is nothing to stop it until we get to 80.47, which is that green UFO here. Again, UFOs can show up any moment, so maybe tomorrow when we review the markets together, we have a green UFO somewhere here. Just like the comment I made with the S&P, auto UFOs is a patented technology which applies all the plotting real time. So if anything needs to be plotted on the screen, it will appear immediately, so you will get to see it. Again, we'll get together again tomorrow, so we'll talk about it then. Speed of movement expected to be at a rate of 47.84%. This is extracted from OVX, which is the implied volatility of options on crude oil futures. That is 2.88 points a day, either up or down. This is 6.34 points a week, either up or down. This is 13.20 points a month, either up or down in one standard deviation, 68+% of the cases. We are going to move now to the next market, which is gold, right here. And as we are looking at gold, we have a change of climate in gold that after a crazily extended down climate finally gave us a little bit of blue, but careful, it's a thin dot, meaning the climate is not confirmed. Okay, the climate is not confirmed, and therefore, this may not represent too much from a statistical point of view. There is no statistical advantage by either going long or short right now. So I would say probably the wisest choice is to wait until gold defines itself and changes to a confirmed climate to the upside or resumes the climate to the downside. Anything could happen, to be honest, because the red UFO and the green UFO are kind of like equal distance from the current price. So there is room for gold to go up, there is room for gold to go down. So let the climate define itself so we'll know what statistics say at the moment. It's a tricky one. Sell on field orders located at 1783.4. Buy on field orders located at 1652.8. Those would be the values which you can see on the screen highlighted in red and green. And speed of movement expected to be at a rate of 18.30%. This is extracted from options on gold futures, which implies, by reverse engineering the pricing models, implies 19.94 points either up or down in a day, 43.89 points either up or down in a week, 91.35 points either up or down in a month. That is what we have. Next market in line is the dollar index. This is an extremely important market. We've been talking a lot about the dollar in recent sessions. I am obviously going to continue my comments about this market today since it is extremely relevant. 80% of transactions worldwide are done in US dollars. Most of the markets that are tradable in exchanges or outside of exchanges or over the counter or on the chain, all those markets, most of them trade in US dollars, and therefore this is a key market to understand. All this crazy move to the upside on the dollar is really, in a way, responsible for all the crashes that happen out there, because since the dollar is more expensive, since the dollar is stronger, you need less dollars to buy product ABC. If the product ABC happens to be a stock, you need less dollars to buy that stock. Why? Because the dollar is stronger. Therefore, what happens to the price of the stock? It goes down. Why? Because the dollar is stronger. Again, very important concept that many people don't think about. Surprisingly to me as a trader, that's absolutely key. So now, what do we have here? We have a down climate. So you would expect the dollar to go down, but notice the down climate is not confirmed. So it's more like, a little bit of a breather or a pause, if you wish. And if the dollar was to fall a bit more and get into this green UFO, now we would expect a move to the upside, which may lead for another pretty strong push to the downside on equity indices, on commodities, or even the cryptocurrencies or other currencies such as the euro. So we'll need to see that, but that's what we have on the screen as we speak, with buy and filters located at 105.44 and an expected speed of movement at a rate of 11.83%. Which is extracted from options on currencies. Okay, if we reverse engineer, that is 0.79 points either up or down in a day, 1.75 points either up or down in a week, 3.63 points either up or down in a month for the dollar index. Moving back now to the Bitcoin futures. So let's take a look at Bitcoin. So what do we have on the Bitcoin? So the Bitcoin is giving us a confirmed climate to the upside. It's been moving up for a few days now, confirmed. Good news, there is nothing to stop Bitcoin to reach 30,000. To be precise, 29,432.5. And the climate is up. So it looks like if Bitcoin drops a bit more and gets into this green UFO, we're going to be on the way to a pretty powerful move to the upside, which is what statistics suggest. That is 20,832.5. That would be where the buy on field orders are located, as you can see. Now, of course, we need to keep watching the chart because, as you know, what I just said could happen perfectly. I don't know, maybe 3 hours from now, you have a red UFO that shows up here, and next thing you know, the only thing you're going to get is a little bit of a range-bound market with, sorry, that was a terrible drawing, a range-bound market with, Bitcoin going up and down from green to red UFO. And again, we continue with this kind of like boring price action for a little longer. So we're going to have to see that. But if no red UFO shows up, we may be set in a position where we may get a very powerful move to the upside for the Bitcoin. Speed of movement expected to be at a rate of 81.95%, which reversing here the pricing models, that is 1,100 plus points a day, either up or down, 2,500 plus points a week, either up or down, 5,200 plus points a month, either up or down. And finally, as we are concluding the session, I would like to mention key news that may be available out there. So we got the FOMC meeting. That's going to be on Wednesday. That's probably the most important news of the whole week. We are going to be soon hitting the first week of August. So next Friday will be extremely important to look at the unemployment number in the US, but not this Friday yet. This Friday is July-25. It is not the first Friday of the month. It's actually the last Friday of the month. So it's not going to happen then. Okay, so again, all of the economic reports highlighted on the screen are indeed important, but as said, the one on the Wednesday with the Fed report is probably the one that is the one to be highlighted the most. With all of this said, I believe I made it on time. Actually, I completed the review of these 5 markets with a few seconds to go. I'm supposed to spend 15 minutes. I did it with a little less, so I guess Very nice, good timing, and I will let you go now so you can enjoy a cup of coffee or a dinner or a lunch or a breakfast, depending on where you are in the world, and get ready for the US session that starts in 45 minutes from now, so you can be ready to trade. Hopefully the session was useful to you, my friends. Keep up the good work, trade safe, and see you in the next one. Take care, everybody. Bye bye.